Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Folks, I'm going to give you the latest status in the stimulus negotiations and a very interesting political calculation by the Democrats which could lead to political fallout for the Republicans. Welcome to my channel. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Thank you for being a visitor. Let's just jump right in. The Democrats are calculating that if the Republicans oppose the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, which they are opposing, they are gambling on the fact that there will be political fallout for the Republican Party. I'm going to dig deeper into that. In fact, I'm going to dig into three things in this video. I'm going to talk to you about the political fallout. I'll give you an update on why I think the Republican Party might actually move to the center in the coming months leading up to the 2020 Senate elections, leading up to the 2020 primaries. And also, I'll talk to you about some interesting new updates, some encouraging new updates from President Biden, the extension of the eviction moratorium, which basically is an extension of what former President Trump did. With that being said, let's just jump right in. You have heard me report on our channel that individuals, Republican senators like Rand Paul from Kentucky, there he is, as well as Senator Rick Scott from Florida, there he is, there's Rick Scott, have been against the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. They want it to be much more targeted. They want to be fiscally more conservative. They want to be more responsible. However, for the Democrats, this is a very interesting situation because they are actually in a situation where if the Republicans support the package, they'll get it to pass and say it was their idea. If the Republicans don't support the package, they feel that this will actually backfire for the Republican Party. This will lead to fallout amongst the Republicans, and this could actually hurt the Republicans going into 2022. Now, these are all national elements at play here. I want our viewers and subscribers to understand that, someone sitting in New York or California might be like, yeah, but someone sitting in Arkansas, someone maybe in Florida, where, by the way, I'll do another video talking about the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis. There he is. What's up, Ron? Is extremely popular and is expected to win re-election, and I'll do another video talking about him because he's quite an interesting character. So there are not only national considerations, which is basically what happens in Congress, but there are regional considerations as well. So although we could see political fallout for certain Republicans, other Republicans might simply emerge stronger as a result of their opposition to the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. In case you're wondering, how can they emerge stronger? They just might, because there are certain parts of the country where these senators and these lawmakers have the support of their constituents. One thing is for sure, the Republican Party is in a very interesting place right now. They're in a very divided place. Some are rallying against former President Trump, and they are facing a lot of pushback, a lot of censure. This actually started with the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's playing a pretty interesting game here. That actually also is a topic for a different video, because he did excoriate former President Trump while voting to acquit Trump on what most people considered was a technicality. But what is quite likely to happen is a move to the center for the Republican Party. And the reason I say this is because of Senator Mitt Romney from Utah and Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, both Republicans. And Tom Cotton is considered to be a 2024 presidential candidate. And so what these guys do is super important. And of course, we know about Mitt Romney's prior presidential ambitions. Now, before I tell you what Senator Romney and Senator Cotton are up to, what's very clear is that the Republican Party is in a state of disarray, which is why the one thing they can rally behind is their opposition to President Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. Folks, politics is all about timing and opportunity. Politics is also about tribalism. Yes, I should introduce a third component here. There's timing, there's opportunity, there's tribalism. There is always a component of us against them in politics, and this is what former President Trump did quite extensively during the 4 years of his administration, the swamp, us against them, and so on and so forth. So the whole tribalism component, where you essentially say, we are on one side, and they are on another side. They are not patriots, and they are, running their states and cities poorly. they are anti-police and so on and so forth. So the whole us against them, the tribalism component, is a very important aspect of politics and is used by political leaders to say, look, it's us against them, and therefore you need to be on my side. And that, that does work. That is simply a way to motivate people, a way to influence people. Now, in this particular case, the whole us against them is the Republicans are positioning themselves as us against them meaning the Democrats who want to waste a ton of money, the Democrats who are fiscally irresponsible, the Democrats who want to inject unnecessary stimulus, the Democrats who want to do away with our police force, and so on and so forth. Now, speaking of the move to the center, some very interesting things that Senator Mitt Romney and Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas are proposing. So they are working on legislation to actually raise the minimum wage. Check this. The Republican senators are working on legislation to raise the minimum wage, but at the same time mandate e-verify for workers. In other words, the workers need to be verified that they are actually workers and they are actually legitimate legal workers before raising the minimum wage. Now, they are going to be releasing a bill about this soon. So think about this. Two Republican senators who are okay with increasing the minimum wage as long as there is some sort of checks and balances system in place. Now, I want to be very clear. I think this is going to be dead on arrival. I want to be as clear as I can about that, because these two guys will propose it. No other Republicans going to support it. The Democrats will be like, oh yeah, okay, we'll see, and then that bill will end up on a table somewhere. But the reason this is important is because this could be, I say could be because guess what? Look at this. I don't have a crystal ball. That's an imaginary crystal ball, in case you didn't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but my prediction is in the next few months and potentially in the next few years, we'll start to see the Republican Party move closer to the center to appeal to a larger section of voters. Because at the end of the day, all Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, cares about is votes and electability. Of course, there are individuals who are, too far left or too far right. That sounds really good. That makes for good television. That makes for controversial statements on Twitter. But at the end of the day, elections are about votes and about electability. So I do believe that we'll see more Republicans moving to the center because President Biden is actually moving. He has more of a centrist approach. So this is my initial analysis. President Biden moving to the center. Individual signs of the Republicans like Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton moving closer to the center. So I do believe that this is what we can expect going forward, which I believe is a good thing. It's less dramatic. It's a little bit more boring. And it is certainly more peaceful and more respectful from a communications and from a discord standpoint. Look, guys, for me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. I think that if we can voice our differences respectfully, I think we can go much further as a country, and I believe we'll continue to do that. In the meantime, folks, it's very clear that the Democrats are shifting their focus back to the stimulus. You'll see this headline on your screen from Bloomberg, which reads, Democrats pivot back to Biden stimulus with Trump trial done. So they're happy that the trial is behind them, and now they're going to focus on getting the nuts and bolts of the plan executed and the bill written, so that the bill can be voted on in the House and can be voted on in the Senate and can go to the president's desk for signature. Just to give our viewers and subscribers a quick recap, the American Rescue Plan is a plan. That plan then becomes a bill that is then voted on in the House and the Senate. And when that bill, which again has to pass both the House and the Senate, goes to the president's desk for signature and the president signs it, that's when it becomes a law. So you have a plan, you have a bill, and then it becomes law. I do expect the new package to become law sometime in the first week, potentially the second week of March, because right now we're between these two stages where we have all these different committees in the House drafting the bill. That bill will pass the House, go to the Senate. There'll be some arguments there. There may be some changes there. If the bill is amended in the Senate, it goes back to the House for passage, and once the same bill passes both the House and the Senate, then it goes to the president's desk for signature. So I do believe the president will sign in the first or second week of March, because we are going to see some shenanigans between the House and the Senate in the next 2 to 3 weeks, where the bill will be bounced back and forth like a ping pong ball between the House and the Senate. In the meantime, folks, President Biden has been busy. You'll see this headline on your screen from Axios. Biden extends mortgage relief and moratorium on foreclosures. Now, I do want our viewers and subscribers to know that these measures, these actions are an extension of a program that the Trump administration started in 2020. So this new relief will provide up to 6 months of additional mortgage payment forbearance, and it will be in 3-month increments for borrowers who entered the program on or before the 30th of June 2020. And folks, if you want to read about this further, here's a headline on your screen from Politico. Biden extends foreclosure moratorium and mortgage forbearance through June. And so again, these actions are an extension of an order that was originally enacted under the Trump administration in March of last year. So the Biden administration has announced today that it would extend the foreclosure moratorium and mortgage forbearance through the end of June. So this is very important. This is important relief to a lot of renters. I'll provide you with the link to this article in the description section below. And so these actions would block home foreclosures and offer delayed mortgage payments until July, in addition to 6 months of additional mortgage forbearance for those, as long as individuals enrolled in the mortgage forbearance program before the 30th of June 2020. So as long as you did that before then, you're fine. If you're trying to take advantage of it now, then you're not going to get the extra 6 months. So that was it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. I would really appreciate it if you click the like button, if you click subscribe, if you enable notifications. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm. That would mean a lot to me personally. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.